Yeah, hello there and welcome back, and let us continue with our lesson over here. And the next step, let us go and create the extension function for our navigation. So for that, let's go on to the top over here and let's go and create the function, and the function will be extension on the nav graph builder over here. Dot will just say this is the auth over here, and the graph auth graph, and we'll take in the nav controller over here. And inside this, let's go and copy our code from here. Let's copy this navigation code from here and let's paste inside over here. So once we have pasted inside, then we can use this auth graph over here, and let's go down over here and let's paste it over here. And let's make this one as the function call over here, and we need to pass in the nav controller over here. So we are good to go. And also for this particular route, you can also have that particular function or the extension function that will be of the function nav graph builder dot d. This will be of the main graph, and we need a nav controller over here. And let's just cut this section and paste it inside over this. And now we can go and use this one over here. This will be much cleaner over here. So I can just say main graph over here and pass in the nav controller over here. So now you can see we have much more cleaner nav over here, or the route graph over here. So you can just rename it to a different or a more proper name over here. And once we have that, you can just go and restart your application, and let's try to see if we get any of those error over here. And let's go to the main screen over here, and now we can go to the register, come back and try to log in from here, and we are back to the home screen over here. And the next step, let us go to the settings screen over here, and let us add a new button over here so we can log out from here. So for that, we'll go to the let's go to our auth screen, and let's copy the code from here. That will be of this one, and let's go back to our settings screen over here, and let's go down over here and let's add this one over here. And from here, we will be navigating to the auth route, so auth over here, and we want to pop up till the main over here. And we want to make this one as the log out log out from here. And we want to be inclusive. We want to pop up this main route as well. So this is the main route. If you go back to the bottom graph and let's go on to the top over here. So this is the main route of our screen. So we want to pop up all of these from our navigation stack. So once we pop up this main route, all of this navigation stack will also be popped out from our navigation. So let's go back to the screen, and I guess that should be fine. And let us try to restart our application over here. And let's go to the settings screen from here. And now let us try to log out from here, and we are back to the login screen over here. And for the next thing, if we go to the login over here, and we will go to the product, and once we go to the product detail from here, let us pass in the argument for our product detail over here. We will pass in the product ID over here. So for that, let's go back to our product screen, or the product. Let's go to the navigation graph first of all. And what we will do over here is, once we go to the product detail over here, and we need to pass in the ID to this particular route over here. So what we'll do is we'll go to the let's try to arrange this one properly, and this will be of the route, and we'll go to the next route that will pass in the argument over here. That will be of the product the product ID over here. And on the this particular screen, let's go back to the product detail screen over here. Let's go to the product detail screen, And in the product detail screen, let us take a parameter over here that will be of the product, the product ID over here, and that will be of a type of the int over here. And let's go down over here and let's go and add in the new text below this one. And let's say this is of the product ID over here, and that will be of the product ID that we have over here. And you can just add the spacer, but let us just keep it as a simple over here. And let's go back over here. Now we need to pass in the nav controller as well as the product ID over here. So how we can get the product ID over here is, let me try to arrange this one properly over here, and we'll pass in the product ID. So product product ID will be of the we need to get it from the backstack over here. We can just say it dot the arguments that we can get from here. Once we get the arguments, and then we can get the int from here. So you can get a lot of the you can just say get over here, and you can see you can get the int, bind, you can get the char, byte. It's a lot of the stuff that you can get the type from here. So what we need is that we need to get the int type from here, and with this int type I want to get the variable of the product ID over here. So if it is of the null, then what we can do over here is, let's say if it is of a null, by default we'll pass in the one value over here. So now we have this particular route, and we need to pass in the param over here that is of the product ID over here. And in the product detail screen we are receiving that as the product ID, and in the product detail screen we are displaying that over here. And let us go back to our navigation graph over here, and what we need to do is in order to get these arguments over here from the nav backstack entry, what we need to do is we also need to pass in the arguments over here, and it's the list of the we need to pass in the list of over here, and the type will be of the nav arguments over here. And the name, we need to provide the product ID over here, and we also need to provide the type over here. So the type will be of equals to the nav type over here, and you can see there are a lot of the nav types that you can provide, but currently we are interested on the nav type of the int over here. So int type is over here, and we are good to go. So now we have the new composable that takes the route as well as the arguments, and it is the list of the nav arguments, and we currently just have the one argument over here that is of the product ID, and then we have the type, and this type is of the int type over here, and in the product detail screen we are passing it that one. And once we navigate from our product screen over here, what we need to do is we need to pass in that ID. So let's say we'll pass in the ID of the 10 over here, and let us try to restart our application over here, and let's go to the login, and let's go to the product, and we'll go to the product detail, and now we get that particular product ID over here. So if you pass in the different ID like 11, so you can just go and restart your application. Let's try to go to the product, and then the product detail, we get the product ID of the 11. So now in this way we can pass in a simple the product ID over here, and you can also pass in the complex object over here, but it's always recommended to have a simple ID, or you can just pass in the ID or some unique value over here, and based on that you can get the data from your view models, or you can get it from your local storage or the remote storage over here. So the best thing is to pass in the simple ID over here and not to pass in the complex object over here. So I guess that's all for this lesson, and we will meet up with the next lecture. Till then, have a great day.